Yo, what's going on, Soul Tribe? It's your boy Colombian Dread back at it again at another episode of The Best Come From The Worst. We now season 2, episode 16. My apologies for taking so long. I mean, of course, I got other things going on, but that's not the point. Still no excuses. See what I'm saying? But I definitely appreciate everyone for tuning in from day one, from season 1. I'm not going to waste too much time. I do want to spread this positivity and this message for the soul. I feel like everyone needs it, especially now that we all outside. You see what I'm saying? If you haven't already, follow my IG page, The Best Come From The Worst, and follow my YouTube channel, of course. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. The Best Come From The Worst. Now, again, this is episode 16, season 2, and the name of this topic is called Pay Attention to the Message and Not the Messenger. You see what I'm saying? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and show love. I definitely appreciate it. But let's get right to it. Often we often miss the message worrying too much about the messenger, right? You take me, for example. I have a past just like everyone else. Some of my messages will have people looking at life from a different lens. But because of my past, you have some people who overlook that message by saying, who are you to make that statement? Completely missing the point. See what I'm saying? If I can recall correctly, didn't Paul have a past as well? Moses too? Yet their messages outlast their life by the message that was being preached. What's my point? God would take the worst of the worst to carry out his biggest message. And here we are in 2021 dealing with the same thing. Diddy is one of them. Now, he recently made a video on how he's tired of black people living in poverty or the suffering black people has been dealing with from creation, right? He pointed out and stated, if we really want to make a difference in our community, we need money. And that's all facts. It's true. Money brings power, and most of all, access to a better beginning and creating wealth for our children. But of course, coming from him and his past on ripping people off through bad contracts, right? Most people aren't trying to hear where he's coming from. So, is this a reason why we can't get ahead in life? Think about it. You have access to all this information on how you can change your life, but because you don't like this individual, you say he don't know what he's talking about. That's a wicked way of looking at things, don't you think? Right? So you mean to tell me you rather live in poverty, living like you got it but die broke? See, that don't make no sense. We need money, yes, but most of all, we need wisdom. There's a story about this in the Bible. There was a corrupt king that was getting ready to take over the village, right? And this old man saved this village by his wisdom. No one acknowledged him because he was poor. So his act of kindness was overlooked. This is in the Bible. I'm telling you. I remember this whole scandal had came out with Derek Jackson cheating. And it was crazy because everybody was talking about it. And, I don't wish that kind of scandal on anybody. But, of course, he made his bed and now he has to lay in it. Now, despite everything that was going on, his message still stands. I'm going to keep it a buck. I didn't like how he was delivering his messages as far as looking out for women only. But he was talking some facts. And he was just a product of that message. You see what I'm saying? Again, pay attention to the message and not the messenger. There's a quote that we often hear and love to use to justify our behavior instead of taking heed. Nobody is perfect. And because of that, we use it as a scapegoat to avoid sound advice. Since nobody's perfect, let me go ahead and be destructive. At this point, you're living off excuses and not experience. Therefore, we can't even accept new advice. You see what I'm saying? People got a habit of saying, our experience will have us believing that our way is the right way of living. You got to be careful with that. You see, I like to tell people to live in truth. I won't say your truth, but live in truth. Because your truth can be incorrect. They say experience could be your best teacher, but I disagree. Why? Because your experience can make you or break you. If it breaks you, it will become your philosophy, and you might bleed on other people because of that. But if you learn from it, you can give sound advice from a positive perspective. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. Now, I'm going to leave you guys with this last one right here. When there's a message in negativity, This one is pretty tough because we tend to stay away from it as we should, but however, we can still learn the lesson from a distance. For example, Jeffrey Owens. He was clowned for working at a supermarket, which I see nothing wrong. I know you guys remember that video, right? He was a star on the Cosby Show, and people had this expectation of him about still being successful. I get it. Life happens, right? He received so many negative comments on social media, and it was to the point where he was probably facing depression, and I know it was tough. This individual decided, they saw him at work and decided to take a picture of him with bad intentions, just to clown him on the gram. But like I said, God can take a bad situation and bless you in front of those who meant wrong. Not only was the situation turned around with positivity, but he also got a spot on power. I'm still trying to get on power to this day. See what I'm saying? Goals. But I'm going to leave you guys with this last thought. Do not believe what you see. Believe what you saw. If you saw yourself being successful in the future, believe it. And do not allow what you see at the moment dictate your life. Like I said, pay attention to the message and not the messenger. I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this message with your peoples. All feedbacks are welcome, whether it's positive or negative. It's all love at the end of the day. And like I said, be sure to follow my IG page, The Best Come From The Worst. Subscribe to my channel, The Best Come From The Worst. Until then, Soul Tribe, I'ma holla.